All right, welcome to the newest edition of the Connecting Right radio show.
You almost forgot the name of the show.
I did. I had a long night last night. It was my wife's birthday. We were out having a good time, or we celebrated her birthday. Today's her actual birthday, so happy birthday, Tanya.
Happy birthday, Tanya. Please don't make Dave sleep on the couch.
Right.
You said your birthday.
We're going to jump right into things because we have a lot to talk about. We have Mayor Cameron Smythe here with us. Thank you very much for coming on.
You got it. And I think you're stumbling over the name was actually because of my attendance.
It was your presence.
It's happened before.
It does.
So
very powerful man. So
I'm
it's
kind of used to people getting a little bit
intimidated.
Yeah. It's a gift and a curse.
Yes. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Coming at this Tuesday at the city council meeting, you're going to be holding elections for a new for the next mayor. So we really appreciate your service over this past year being the mayor of Santa Clarita.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Were you the youngest mayor that we've ever had?
I am not at this time, but the first time I was mayor.
The first time you were mayor was, yes.
Yeah, my first go-around. I was the youngest mayor in the state of California that time.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's awesome. That's something to be proud of.
It's, it's hard to believe it, that's how it was, and now I'm, middle-aged, I guess, is what they say.
Yeah. So, well, again, thank you for coming on. One of the things that we wanted first to have you talk about was just kind of give us an idea of what's going on in the city, kind of like a state of the city, like what's going on in Santa Clarita these days.
So, one of the things when I speak to groups that I like to highlight, a lot of the great things that are happening in Santa Clarita because there's so much negativity, not just in the country and the state. And everyone talks about that, but even here, you see a lot of criticism and a lot of people raising issues, which I certainly recognize that the city has issues and we're not perfect and we have a lot of a long way to go on things. But when you travel to other cities or you talk about Santa Clarita, the way people who don't live here view this community is one of a place where they want to live or the standards that we set, and that's something that sets it apart. So, just a couple things like Santa Clarita was named the most business-friendly city in LA County out of 88 cities.
Wow.
We are the third largest, now by population, the third largest city in LA County behind Los Angeles and Long Beach. We were voted the 10th happiest city, which I joke about because they obviously didn't interview the people that come to city council meetings. Right. Because those are not happy people.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed going to the city council meetings, although sometimes I have to get up and leave when you start talking about where the height of a sign on a business front. That's where I'm like, okay, this just doesn't.
That is local government at its finest.
Right.
We are also one of the top 10 or 12 healthiest cities so it's funny, right? Because it stands to reason, health and happiness, that would make sense.
Coincide with each other.
Voted one of the top 20 cities in the country to raise a family, no surprise there. Especially given that 60% of the city's population is 45 and under.
Oh, wow.
So much of young people and families, of course.
Yes.
We remain one of the safest cities in the country, with a population of when you do an apples to apples comparison of population, and fiscally, we remain one of the most fiscally sound cities in the country. We have the highest bond ratings, the highest recognition from all the peer groups and evaluations, and Financial Times rated us one of the top 5 small cities in the country for emergence in business and technology and
awesome.
Moving forward. So there's a lot of good things to talk about here in Santa Clarita.
Yeah.
And just real quick, this year we're not going to see a lot coming online. We're doing a lot of the legwork for building a new library facility in Saugus.
Yes.
We're going to have next year we'll have the opening of the Lemley Theater here. We're going to have the groundbreaking of the new sheriff's station will happen this year.
Oh yeah, that's going to be over on
Golden Valley,
right? Yeah.
And we're going to be breaking ground hopefully this year as well on our new community center in Canyon Country.
Right.
So several big capital projects in the city that you won't see in 2018, but we're putting a lot of work and a lot of progress towards them.
Right.
Very
That's
nice.
awesome. And yes, I love living here. I went away for college and did some work outside here. And then once I knew that I wanted to start a family, wanted to come back here because of just how great of a city this is. We have some of the best schools. The athletic programs that we have out here are awesome. It's just there's a lot of great things about Santa Clarita, and taking like Main Street. Main Street was getting a little bit run down, and the city has taken it upon themselves to renovate it and make it more beautiful, which you guys really have done a great job with.
And it's been tough because several years ago when I was in the legislature and I voted against this, when the legislature eliminated redevelopment agencies, and that really inhibited the city's efforts to revitalize downtown Newhall, and forced us to, and all cities, to find other ways to provide that financing mechanism that would allow for the revitalizing of neighborhoods. And this had been a redevelopment zone. The most famous, I think, redevelopment zone in California would be Old Town Pasadena, right? Colorado Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
That was a very rough part of town for a long time. But through redevelopment dollars, they were able to turn it into what it is today. And that was kind of a model that a lot of other cities, including Santa Clarita, had followed. But during the budget crisis in the legislature, the state needed the money, no matter what Governor Brown or anyone will tell you. It was done because the state needed the money, and they eliminated redevelopment agencies, which slowed the progress. But it's great. I was here for our tree lighting, and there were standing room only, several thousand people packed into Main Street, walking up and down. Jasmine Bakery had the line out the door.
Oh, yeah.
And it was such a great. It's an event like that is such an introduction for a lot of people that live in Santa Clarita that don't even know this part of town really exists. They come down for the community tree lighting, and they see all the restaurants, all the shops, all the local businesses, and that's what's exciting.
Yeah, it's easily one of my favorite spots of Santa Clarita now is Main Street. I mean, you got the new brewery, wonderful restaurants, everything here.
Yeah, and a lot of what I like too, a lot of the business owners are Santa Clarita residents.
Yeah.
They're getting their start, and they're doing their retail, they're first up, and they live here. They're vested in this town, and that's what's great to see. And you want to help them succeed.
Yeah, and even some of the businesses that were already existing here kind of remodeled themselves to fit with what was going on. Like I know 8th and Rail when they were the VU Ultra Lounge, I was not a big fan of that place at all, and did not ever want to go there. But since they've reinvented themselves to becoming 8th and Rail and kind of cleaned up the inside and made things a lot better, now it's a really nice.
So you're an old school Santa Clarita guy like me, so you're probably more of a Docks Inn guy,
right?
Yes.
Maybe we can get them to renovate next because
Docks is next.
No. I can walk home from Docks. So that's always,
they can keep it. I think they just need to change their carpeting.
Maybe a new jukebox.
Yes. One of the things that obviously we're all dealing with the fires out here. I think there was up to 7 fires at once, and now we're down to 3 locally here. Or I consider Ventura a little more locally than where we still have some going in San Diego. But Sean noticed something that he'd like to ask you about.
Yeah, our business in the industrial center was evacuated for the Rye Fire once it broke out, and it was chaos. I mean, the power went out. Everybody's being evacuated from all these buildings. There's traffic everywhere, firemen and cops everywhere. But one of the things I noticed was immediately there were City of Santa Clarita city workers, out there directing traffic, which I thought was amazing. I wanted to ask you, what goes into that? Who mobilizes them?
Right. So when we get hit with something like that, the city immediately mobilizes our own emergency command post, kind of the Sentry Room, which is behind the council chambers, morphs into that. And so everybody who is trained and has a role, hits the EOC. So I joined everybody. I was actually at City Hall when this was happening, so I popped down there. And so everyone gets activated. And I think the benefit in the industrial area is we have 2 large city facilities in the industrial center. So
Metrolink.
We've got our TMF facility, and then we have our kind of our yard, so to speak.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of city employees who are there and are trained and have that that skill set. And there are probably some, quite frankly, it's the way things are here at the city, that people who probably didn't have to but needed something to wanted to help, and so they jumped in and started directing traffic. And that's the beauty of this city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is not just the employees who are trained and have a specific job during those times of crisis. There's no hesitation. There's no shortage of staff who are willing to jump in and fill the gaps where they need to.
Yeah.
Because not only did we have, obviously there was the evacuations, but at one point we had roughly 30 intersections where the street lights were out.
Wow.
Throughout the city.
Wow.
We had a number of trees that had come down,
Yeah.
on top of that. So it was chaos
It was.
for a long time
Yeah.
because, and we had crews, trying to get there. Then we activated our contracting crew, and everybody was out trying to get to that. And it was, I was actually driving back to the city. I was speaking to a couple schools in Saugus, and we were trying to get back to City Hall, and it became quite the challenge
Yeah.
Yeah.
as we saw it.
On a side note, we were trying to leave the industrial center. There was a student driver, some 16-year-old kid, in front of me, and I thought, they just need to give this guy his license. He passes. All the signals are out. It's chaos. He wins.
Yeah.
As long as he didn't cause any accidents.
No, he was good. Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, one of the other things that's been big in Santa Clarita as far as issues have been going is marijuana was legalized in the state of California. Our city, along with a few others, have put a moratorium on that, on the sale of marijuana, of having dispensaries. I know that we've had, just from reading posts and seeing things, I know that we've had a couple delivery services that operate out here, but there's no brick and mortar, and that's something that's what the moratorium really affects, right? And so we're just kind of curious, like what's the reasoning with the city council that they keep this moratorium on? I mean, honestly, I don't care either way. Like,
Right.
it doesn't affect me, but we're just sort of curious, just so that people can kind of understand why the city is doing this.
Sure. I think it's an issue that I really kind of got rolled up my sleeves to get in on the policy of, because it is a fundamental shift in public policy in California, and it does affect cities and affects them differently. So under Prop 64, you can now, as a resident, you can grow up to 6 plants in your home for your own personal use.
Right.
But from terms of large scale, so we were dealing with large scale growth, grows, as well as kind of the retails. The city already has a moratorium on medicinal brick and mortar retail
Buildings, yeah.
locations.
Right.
And so I think there was the feeling that there just isn't the need, as well as the desire. I joke when someone talks about, well, there was a poll on Facebook, or it passed in it passed in Santa Clarita. And I said that's great, but let's do a poll and say, hey Northbridge.
Right.
We're going to put in a retail marijuana facility right next to Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
Let's see what the poll is then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people support it in the again in the theoretical, but when for us as the city, we have to deal in the practicalities of it. Where I feel that there is some room for discussion is when you're talking about manufacturing facilities, larger more wholesale type facilities, because again, if you are taking and making CBD oils, or you're making lotion or shampoo or other products using hemp,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that falls in the same level as selling traditional marijuana at a retail facility.
Right.
And so I would like to. I know we extended the moratorium. The Planning Commission's going to take a look at it, coming back after January, to make it an ordinance. And I'm going to still push a little bit about, does it have to be across the board? Because I think there is some nuance to the issue that with education, I think it's worth people taking a look at.
Yeah.
On the council.
And I think, and there's stuff that like paper and clothes and rope, and there's
Absolutely.
other stuff that can be made from it that's not necessarily where you're smoking it and getting high.
Yeah, and
So-
it's something that from over the years in my time in the legislature, my position changed as I educated myself and learned about industrial hemp. And my first couple of years, I was just didn't even think about it. Hit the red button, opposed it all the way. But then several of my the bill was actually sponsored by Mark Leno, one of the most liberal members may very well be the next mayor of San Francisco, and Chuck DeVore.
Okay.
Who is known as one of the most conservative members now. It works at a conservative think tank in Texas, and they both kind of sponsored the industrial hemp. And so as I learned about it, it's completely different strains, and the DNA is totally different. And even when you're talking about creating CBD oils and all, when you're still using the regular, marijuana plant or cannabis plant, it's still different uses.
Yeah.
And as long as there's nobody knocking on the door, doing the sales. But the challenge all cities have, and California remains, as long as the feds have it listed as a Schedule I drug, the financing remains all cash.
Yeah, you can't go through the banks.
No banks, and so what we found, and our city staff did a really nice job of researching this and going to several cities in Colorado, some who had, approved it and some who hadn't, and provided some really interesting data that basically said the economic benefit has not really panned out because of the cost in the city to manage it, where you have to manage the permitting, the electrical cycling, the law enforcement additions. It just, the math wasn't really working out as it were. And because Santa Clarita is in such a good, strong financial position, we don't need to be like the city of California City that issued 11 large grow permits the first day kind of thing. We're not in that same position, so we can really see whether there's a value or not.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. There's some democratic cities that are struggling a little bit more financially than our mostly conservative.
No,
city
absolutely,
here.
and
So.
it's a real interesting policy discussion, and. As I learned, the big impediment is as long as the feds keep it on the same level as a Schedule I, it's really problematic.
Yeah.
For the locals.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why it became a Schedule I, why the feds did that was. Most people know, some people don't, that William Randolph Hearst actually was the one that pushed for it to be illegal because they wanted to use it for industrial purposes, and he twisted it and spun it, helped finance, put out Reefer Madness and other things to make it look bad because he owned all the paper companies that printed his newspapers. Right. So if all of a sudden it went to hemp,
to eliminate competition,
then so that's one of the main reasons why it ended up becoming illegal in the first place, and it's unfortunate that he spun it in a way that the people that were smoking it caused it to be illegal, so that the people that wanted to use it for good industrial purposes weren't able to do that. But anyways, well, thank you for explaining that to us.
It'll come back again after the first of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Signal recently put out an editorial suggesting that either you or Bob Keller remain the mayor because Marsha McLean, Bill Miranda, and Laureen West are currently running next year. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think history has shown. Well, first, of course, they're very wise to think that I should be mayor.
Yeah,
Their wisdom is unmatched in that regard. But I question whether or not the argument that there is an inherent advantage of being the mayor, or even the incumbency advantage, because in 2012. The incumbent mayor lost in a city race. And then in 2016, another incumbent lost. And so in 2 out of the last 3 elections, we've seen, a change. And so I don't know, whether or not that really carries so much more weight than others. I think the data is still out on that, and certainly the solution is to have a directly elected mayor. And I said recently that at some point we should have that discussion about the city, whether we should we should have districts, should we have a directly elected mayor, should we. Any other changes to our governance? We're 30 years old now. We've nibbled around the edges a little bit. Our first big change was obviously moving the election from April to November, which has created a huge turnout improvement. So, are there other changes that as the city, as we push 300,000 people, should we start making some changes like some of the bigger cities?
Yeah, like LA. I mean, it's directly elected mayor, right?
Yeah, their system is different. So the mayor really is kind of the true executive, or executive branch. That that we don't have in Santa Clarita, and many small cities don't. The council's a part-time gig.
Yeah.
The way I describe it is the city council is the board of directors. The city manager is the CEO. And, we only have really authority over, the city manager. We can't hire and fire staff. I can't just say, what, Parks director, you're doing a bad job. You put my kid on a crummy, flag football team.
Yeah.
You're out.
Right.
We don't have that authority at the council.
Right.
So that's how most cities are. That's how it's set up to be. And I think that should remain. But when you start again talking about what are there other improvements that we can make again, like districts, like going to a directly elected mayor. Those are discussions that are worth having.
Yeah. So regardless of if someone is the mayor pro tem, like Lorraine West is mayor pro tem, in most cases that we've had where the mayor has been chosen by the council, the mayor pro tem usually becomes the mayor.
Correct. There's been very few cases. One, Joanne Darcy in '99 and 2000, she doubled up to be mayor back to back, and then obviously we had this circumstance where Dante Acosta was the pro tem, got elected. That created a change. But I'm honestly I'm of the feeling that if someone has been named the mayor pro tem, unless something has happened during that year, they should transition into the position of mayor. If I don't think you should be the mayor, or I won't make you I wouldn't vote to put you as the pro tem either, because I just, but I also believe that, most people, the way our system works, if you've been elected by the people, it's hard to say, you shouldn't have your turn as mayor. Again, that's my general philosophy. I spent a couple of years serving with someone, and then you realize whether or not they are, you're comfortable with that, because certainly the mayor is the face of the city.
Yes.
It's also important to me that you know how to run a meeting.
Yeah.
I felt this way in Sacramento. When we would change speakers, I was always like, from a policy standpoint, it doesn't matter. You're gonna run the Democrat caucus the way you're gonna run it. It's not gonna be much change.
Right.
But for me, I cared about the House and the institution. So as long as the trains are running on time and you're gonna keep the House moving as it should, I'll support you.
Right.
Because from a policy standpoint, it's not gonna matter to me.
Right. Well, great. Well, we had a couple more questions, but we're running out of time here. So
I filibustered. I saw some of your notes and questions
I
I didn't want to answer. So I just decided to filibuster to the break.
But we really appreciate you coming on and answering our questions and telling us about the city a little bit more. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday. It's going to be very interesting. I'm not a big fan of the signal influencing. They should be there to inform. So I read that article. I read most of it, and I was like, oh, they actually did a decent job. Then the last part, I was just like, oh, nope, you guys totally blew it. But again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, you got it.
And we'll see what happens on Tuesday, and maybe we'll have you back on again as mayor. Maybe we'll have you back on as a city councilman.
Anytime, like I said, the fact that I could walk here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hilly walk, but since it's really close, I can pop in anytime. So
Great.
happy to do it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Every year, thousands of local children, teens, and adults receive treatment at the Child and Family Center for depression, anger, anxiety, abuse, thoughts of suicide, and drug and alcohol addictions. Our professional staff provides outpatient services at office locations, in the home, the community, and on many elementary, junior, and high school campuses throughout our valley. If you need help, contact Child and Family Center at 259-9439 or childfamilycenter.org. Improving lives, one family at a time.
Mission Valley Bank puts the community in community banking. They strive to be your most trusted bank. Mission Valley Bank is happy to sponsor KHTS Holiday Music. Happy holidays!
KHTS Holiday Music also brought to you by Chiquita Canyon.
From all of us at Chiquita Canyon, we'd like to wish you and your family a happy, prosperous holiday season. This year, Chiquita Canyon is proud to sponsor holiday music on your local hometown station, KHTS. Happy holidays.
With With locations throughout the valley, Providence offers the most advanced technology and therapies for treating cancer in Southern California. Call 1-888-HEALING for your annual checkup or second opinion. The road to healing leads to Providence.
The Santa Clarita Artists Association has a new gallery in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Main and Railroad, right across from the Canyon Theater Guild. The gallery features our members' paintings, sculptures, and one-of-a-kind handcrafted gift items. Whether you're an art lover, buyer, or an artist wishing to join, visit our website at santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming events and exhibits, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Hometown. Your hometown station.
I just like the variety of music.
KHTS.
All right, welcome back to segment 2.
Yes, dose.
So, fake news has happened. It happens. It's been happening more and more in our mainstream media. And recently, CNN they made a little mistake,
little
boo-boo, where they said that the WikiLeaks stuff was received by Eric Trump. It was Eric Trump, by Eric Trump on September 4th, when it was really the 14th, after it had already been out for a day, so there wasn't anything really, and, they had to put a retraction, people got fired, well, CNN doesn't fire people, because that would mean that they're an actual responsible company. Instead, they just tell people, you should just resign. Yeah. Just go ahead and resign.
Here's your letter of resignation. Right. Just sign this.
So, with the rampant fake news that happens all over Facebook, we see these weird American News #1 you're like, oh, come on. But so you see those there, and then in mainstream media you also see it happening too, and now it's kind of getting down to a local level now. This could be just a big mistake, but this is also what happens when media outlets rush to get a breaking story without 100% with having 100% of the information,
properly vetting it, and
So, so on Friday, the Signal, our favorite of all the media outlets out here, they had put out.
I sense sarcasm in your voice there,
a little
Dave,
bit.
By the way.
They had put out an online piece saying that a dead body was found on Sand Canyon Road. No. Yes. Ooh. Which is very unfortunate, because actually there was a poor woman who did pass away on the old road, and they were saying I believe you saw that they said it was the burn area.
The one in Sand Canyon, yes.
Yeah.
They were saying
the ghost dead body.
I read the article. I went to look for it again, couldn't find it for some weird reason now. But they were saying that the dead body was like 10 miles up the Sand Canyon Road in the old burn area.
Right. Oh, the old burn area. Okay. Yeah. So that's up. So they put that up, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, dead! Like, what's going on? Who is this?" They said it was found on someone's property also, which is kind of a big deal. And so people started calling the Santa Cruz Sheriff's Department. Now in the let's see, I don't have it right. You guys are seeing it. I don't have it right in front of me. But at one point they said that they talked to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Homicide Bureau, and they said that they were sending people out there. It was 3 p.m. on Friday, and and that they had sent detectives up there to go look at it. So apparently somebody allegedly told this to the Signal, told this to Jim Holt, who was writing this piece.
For it, yeah.
Yeah, and then yesterday, Shirley Miller, the PR person that does all the community liaison stuff for the Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station, put up a post saying, "Greetings. The Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station has had inquiries regarding an article briefly circulated late Friday by a local media news outlet about a dead body that was reportedly found on Sand Canyon Road. After verifying with the station watch commander and LASD Homicide Bureau, the bureau that apparently told them that this was happening, this info posted was incorrect. Apparently, the article has been taken down, but we just wanted to make sure everyone had accurate info." So now all of a sudden, like it's
Is that wah wah wah?
yeah, and you know, I don't know much about Jim Holt. I just know that he's a reporter over there. But it's a mistake, and it affects your reputation as a reporter, or it affects the reputation of the outlet that you work for. Also, you got to be very careful when.
Yeah.
And I think that's. Social media is to blame for people putting out these false articles.
I would agree with you. I think also, you know, as a consumer, we're to blame for this. I know we've talked about this before, but everybody's in this rush to have up-to-date information right now, as opposed to, you know, 50, 60, 70 years ago when you got your information from a newspaper that they had an entire day to vet and properly research and put out.
Yeah.
As opposed to now where as something happens, you hear dead body in somewhere and you rush to print.
And the news outlets throughout Santa Clarita need to be able to take the time to make sure that the information that they're putting out is correct.
Yes.
And make sure that so that people aren't freaking out. They're not bothering the sheriff's station. Because you know that if they're getting a bunch of calls about it, that means that they're dealing with that instead of dealing with a real incident.
Yeah.
So rushing stuff like this, like that Signal article had an effect more than community wide, basically, and people just need to be very, very careful about, or I shouldn't say people. The reporters need to be very, very careful. Make sure that you're getting your information correct. You know, the Signal already has the reputation that they have of not 100% being honest about things. Also, it was just brought out that that allegedly some of their articles that they had put out has right there when you go look at the Signal thing, it'll say a number of shares.
Yeah.
And from there, then you can Sorry, it says the number of shares, but now there's a thing. I think it's called Mash Share. It's from Mashable. That you can go and you can actually put in you can put in the link to the article there, and it will tell you the real amount of shares.
Okay.
And
so you're talking about for like a Facebook article,
right? Okay. Or no. They're on their website.
Oh, on their website.
On their website. Like there was one that said that they had about 1,000 shares, I think, somewhere around there.
And how many did they really have?
And it was, and that specific article had like 65.
Wah, wah, wah.
So you know, I understand that people that the newspaper is a dying industry. It's a dying media. Like even radio. Like if it wasn't for Facebook Live, the radio industry would kind of be coming down also. And for shows like us, like our main audience is Facebook Live and the KHTS app. Not so much 12:20 a.m. the station. People aren't tuning in on their old timey radios. You know, they're probably listening to their podcasts or whatever.
The difference with the radio industry is you've noticed they've kind of adapted to technology now and social media and whereas newspapers they haven't. I mean. I know the Signal doesn't do this, but a lot of times you go and read an article from Washington Post or New York Times and says, "Well, you've read 5 articles this month. You can't read any more. Pay us $7." And it's like, I'm not going to pay.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go find somebody else.
Yeah, but you know they got other places have to make their money elsewhere, and you know hopefully. Advertisers aren't getting duped over by the amount of numbers that the Signal's putting out there and being with the falsified numbers, and hopefully or the alleged falsified numbers, and hopefully they're not misguiding our local businesses out here just to get money. But I mean. When the motto of the owner is "if the shoe fits, steal," it's kind of
But on a positive note, there was no dead body in St. Canyon.
Yeah.
So you know that's a positive aspect.
That's a
of
positive.
The story.
Yeah. I mean, there's been allegations thrown around of KHTS doing something, of the Gazette and of the Signal. But now this is one where you can actually go and look and see that the Signal is doing this, and you can go and check their numbers on that. So it just that's kind of why we do what we do. We want the information to be correct and be factual, and we don't want to have to be like, oh, we have this many viewers, so you should come advertise with us. It doesn't, our show is more about making sure that you have the correct information, and that you're getting facts, and that we don't want to influence you. We want to educate. and we want you to understand that not everything that you get from sources like the Signal are necessarily on the up and up. So and it's
fact check.
Yeah. And in fact, speaking of fact checking, you heard that Snopes is the fact checker for Facebook, right?
No. What do you mean?
So on Facebook, when you scroll up and down, there's some articles that'll have like a little tag that'll say like that like may not be true or something like that. I forget the exact wording of it, but and they're using Snopes to do this.
Really?
Yeah. And
isn't Snopes ran by like two people? I mean,
it was a married couple who are now divorced. And one of the biggest issues was the husband who was he went and spent a bunch of money on prostitutes and these big vacations where he was just going and where he was getting his prostitutes from, like and she was accused of taking a bunch of money from the business to go buy a house. Like it's a very like, when you have a rocky relationship with the owners of this site, like that's probably not the best source for your fact checking.
I could see right now the article. Does he take out the trash or no?
Right.
He never takes out the trash. Snopes finds this article factual.
Yeah. And so this guy, I'm going to look up his name while I'm talking, but he also got remarried. So his name is David Mickelson, and Barbara Mickelson is his now ex-wife. But David Mickelson is now married.
Let me guess. Is she 20 years younger?
I'm not sure about her age.
Okay.
But go ahead and take a guess at her former profession before she became a fact checker for Snopes.
Russian stripper.
Escort and porn star.
Okay, I got it close.
So now we are being told what articles are real and not real from a former escort and porn star. That's that's what Facebook thinks is their best option for deciding what's real news and what's not real news.
This is a hypothetical here.
Okay.
But if you marry somebody for money, if you were an escort and you marry somebody for money, does that necessarily mean you're a former escort or still current?
I think that's I don't know. I don't know. It's
I'd say that's current.
I
mean, if there was a licensing board, I'd feel like they would give you a license every year. You're still an escort.
I mean, honestly, if when she was in her porn days, all they had to do is turn off the camera, and all of a sudden it became prostitution. So, but
Cody's over at the board right now, just ready to press the button.
Right? What are these guys doing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we have a big announcement about the show and
Matthew Funicello.
Matthew Funicello, or Matt Tank. He'll be here to be part of this announcement. So stay tuned, and you'll get to hear about the future of Connecting Right Radio.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too. Call right now. Operators are standing by. 1-800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 1-800-452-1075.
The SCV Pregnancy Center has provided compassionate, personalized, and confidential care for 30 years.
Angela Bennett, CEO.
Positive urine test does not confirm pregnancy. It only indicates you may be pregnant. Only a doctor can diagnose and confirm pregnancy. If you used a home test and need answers immediately, the SCV Pregnancy Center will provide immediate pregnancy test results and uses the latest technology to confirm and diagnose pregnancy. The center specializes in pregnancy testing and confirmations. Make your appointment today.
Visit scvpregnancycenter.org.
All services free and confidential.
Do you like to rock across Africa?
Then the wait is over.
Africa Rocks! Africa's Greatest Hits is now available at the San Diego Zoo! And who could forget 99 red baboons?
Or the African crested porcupine smash hit, I Got Quills to Pay the Bills! Hey, don't get too close!
And the hits keep on coming!
Africa Rocks has all your favorites from 6 different African habitats.
Hungry like a leopard!
Ibex is back!
Harder, better, fossa stronger!
And a new track from Kendrick Lamar!
Now, Larry.
Yes, Chuck?
A collection of this magnitude, I'd fly to Africa!
Well, don't pack your bags, friend. Africa Rocks is only available right here at the San Diego Zoo.
Wow, that really does rock.
No, it Africa Rocks.
Welcome to Africa Rocks. Experience 6 different African habitats, including our first ever aquatic enclosure with African penguins. Only at the San Diego Zoo.
KHTS.
All right, welcome back to the last segment of the Connecting Right Radio Show.
Yes.
And we
This
have
is
Matt.
the Sunday edition of the show.
The Sunday, because we do so many other editions.
Yeah, people are going to be really confused, be like, what other day of the week do they do it?
Yeah. We have Matt Funicello here with us.
What's up?
Hello, Matt.
Matt's voice is not present
It
at
is
times, so
completely destroyed right now.
Yeah.
I sound like Peter Griffin from Family Guy. So
actually you have a great radio voice right now, though.
It is.
Do I?
I feel like
Does
you're
it
Bane.
sound good?
Yeah, you're Bane from Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, or I want you to narrate my life.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Like the white Morgan Freeman.
Right.
So Sean Goss.
You merely
says
adopted
this.
the knife. I was born in it.
He was talking, but he wasn't thinking what he was talking.
Right? Yeah, you be the next Darth Vader.
Yes.
Anyway, so we have a
Yo,
big
Baba.
announcement to make. Sean and me started.
Sean and I
started working together in April of this year
Throw
when we
something.
did the Triggering podcast, and it has moved on to this. This takes time to prep and
Yes.
get ready, and we're constantly having to think during the week of what we're going to do, reaching out, getting guests. It takes time. And Sean is a very busy man.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, next Sunday is going to be Sean's last
will.
show with us.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I feel a little sad about
Yeah,
that.
This does
I
not please
might
me.
be tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right. I can tell.
And,
Sean's crying on the
yes.
inside.
But just so everyone knows, we're not going to be doing. We're going to be replaying shows on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve because we're busy with family and going to be out of town on those days. So next week will be Sean's last show. This is my last show with Sean.
That's even more sad.
I
Dave.
know, right?
Horrible. Crying on the
destroying
inside.
people.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out of town next week, so Matt is going to be filling in for me.
Yeah, so
with
next week
Sean.
it will be Matt and I.
Matt and I.
Yeah, very good.
Matt and you.
He learned it.
Right. So, Matt, tell those that have not seen you on our show before. Matt's been a guest a couple times on our show. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, hold on. I don't think you mentioned this part. Matt will be taking over for me.
Yeah.
In the new year. Did you say that?
Yes, I did.
I don't think you did.
Yes,
Okay.
he did. If you weren't paying attention.
If you missed the last 2 minutes, Matt will be taking over for I at the
Sean.
All right. But yes, Matt, please tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Well, like everybody knows, my name is Matt Funicello. I've been a Santa Clarita resident since 2007. I'm a former Marine, a former deputy sheriff.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah,
this
not
is true.
former.
Yeah. I currently, I started about this time at the beginning of 2017. I started the California Conservative Action Group. It's started out as a local, but now it's grown a lot longer. It's obviously it's in its name to raise conservative values in Southern California and in the state. And I go to school and work at the same time, so my plate is full now as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be even more full.
Yeah.
Fuller.
Yeah, fuller. Yeah. He's going to school for journalism, so all of a sudden he's a grammar Nazi.
Yeah.
Hide commas.
But we're looking forward to having you as my new co-host. January 7th will be our first show together. Next week, like I said, it's going to be Matt and Sean, as I will be out of town. We're working on getting the guest for next week. which I think me and Sean have talked about it. And we talked to Matt. I don't want to say it yet because this person had approached me about being on the show, and we still need to confirm everything with them. So we're not going to make any announcements about next week's show as of yet. But we just wanted to have Sean say thank you very much for everything that you've done. We've had a great run.
Thank you.
It has been a wonderful experience. I've loved every single minute of it.
Yeah.
You've done a great job. You really have.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Even Cody in the background wagging his finger every time we get a little off topic here. But I appreciate
shame
that, Cody.
for shame.
Yeah.
See, he's the original Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. Cody's got the bell over there.
Right. So, excuse me. So, Cody's even tearing up a little bit over there, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, Cody. But,
stop it, guys.
But Matt, it's going to be, the show's going to be, or it's going to be essentially the same. Although when it comes to Sean and Matt, Sean is a little more right of center, where Matt's a little bit further right than that. I feel.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. We're gonna be doing the same show, but you're gonna get. We're connecting right. We're a show with two libertarians. So now you're gonna have a show with a libertarian and more of a conservative. Would you call yourself that more than a libertarian, or?
I do share a lot of the libertarian values. I'm more conservative.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to be a registered Republican. I'm not anymore. And the reason why is because I think that the Republican Party has kind of lost its way in conservative values. But that being said, yes, I do traditionally vote Republican, and I do see myself more as a conservative. But I do agree with a lot of the libertarian viewpoints out there.
Yeah. So I think the show's going to be it's going to be taken a little bit further right now.
Not by much, though.
Yeah, not by much, but it's going to be same format. Just we talk about local issues. If anything big internationally or nationally comes up, we'll definitely address that also.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And it's gonna be a little bit different from just two guys that like to talk about their talk about what's going on and trying to let people know what's happening in our city, to having somebody from an actual journalism background now.
Yes.
Coming in. So it's going to...
My whopping 5 classes.
Right.
Don't even have a degree in it.
Yeah, but you know what? That's way more... People might not know this, but that's way more experience than Dave and I had combined when we started the podcast.
Yeah, but you know what? Experience, in my opinion, is as long as you have a passion for it, and a desire for it, you can learn on the job and get better just like that. I mean, it's just the same thing with arguing about going to college versus going to a trade school. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes having classes doesn't mean much, or a degree doesn't mean much.
Yeah, we had to learn on the job pretty much.
On the fly.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Going from
and look where we are now.
Yeah, going from a show where the whole point was to trigger people and to make people upset and question and discuss, which we did a very successful job with Brian Cafario.
Yes.
Yeah, because people actually, they block you on Facebook, but they still manage to talk schmack behind your back. It's lovely.
I get screenshots, and I get told there's people that
they
have
think
me blocked.
they don't know, but we know.
Yeah, and
we're not dumb.
Yeah, and people just they want to rip us. It's just kind of, it's pretty unfair that somebody would try to go and rip us apart without us being able to defend ourselves.
No, absolutely.
So
have a debate.
I think
Let's have a debate.
It's a childish
in
move.
person.
Yeah. So keep up with the cowardice, you folks out there that are doing that, and quit, have fun out there talking to basically your own little echo chamber, because you blocked everyone that doesn't agree with you or that you don't like. So that's helping. That means your voice is barely getting out to people.
Talking into the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. So.
I can't wait for the day that Facebook allows us to put ads on our personal pages. So every time they talk about us, you can say, direct them to this page.
Yeah.
So,
you can do that now with targeted ads. You
Yeah.
can target ads to specific demographics and everything like that. So we'll make sure that this person and people like him always get ads for the show.
Yeah, it would just be me doing.
Yeah.
Look at me now, fellas.
Right. and we're gonna have to get a new picture, obviously.
I know. How are you guys gonna top that one?
I don't know. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at it, and I'm
really
like,
small shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Bravo.
I'm not going to be able to rest my arm as easily on the shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do.
How tall are you, Matt?
6'1".
He's 6'1", and you're
like
5'8".
7'5".
7'5". If you're 7'5", that means to be like 8'9".
Yeah, but it was reverse day, you know.
He thought to himself,
I'm actually on
I'm
a
a
stool.
big guy.
Yes,
I'm actually
absolutely.
on a stool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So
any ideas?
For what?
On the picture.
I don't know.
Come on.
We'll have to come. I mean, that's very hard to beat. Like, I love the sweater vest idea with the ties and
which
bow tie.
Which was Dave's idea, by the way, and it took us 2 shots to get that.
Yeah.
If I can make a suggestion, I can wear my killing shirt.
Mm-hmm. This is my killing shirt. Yeah.
This is my killing shirt.
Yeah. I can wear.
I'm just saying, gruntstyle.com.
And I can wear my General Mattis shirt.
Oh yeah, all hell chaos.
Yes, that or the Fire and Fury shirt. That would really.
Yes.
That would,
I just have to. You mentioned General Mattis. I would follow that man into the gates of hell wearing gasoline-soaked skivvies.
Yeah, that's. I've heard
how
that
much
from,
I trust that guy.
I've heard that from all Marines. I don't think there's a single Marine that I've ever met that doesn't like hold now.
He is on par with like Chesty Puller.
Yeah, he is the patron saint of chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. He was my division commander during the invasion. Guy's a stud.
Yeah, and some of the greatest things that he's ever said were not necessarily allowed to say on air, but he is a great speaker. He's a great motivator, and now we're off topic where we're talking about General Mattis and how awesome
it's okay. It's allowed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because what this is also called, Dave, is filling time for the next 3 minutes.
Yeah. If anybody just saw Matt wave, he was waving to the ghost that just walked by.
Yeah, I don't know who
There's
that
2
is.
of them. I don't know.
Well,
one of them had a "Make America Great Again" hat on. So
there you go.
I approve that message.
Yeah. Well, we are a conservative city, so. Peace.
You wanted
to you too.
five
Peace
drinks?
To you too. Yeah,
five drinks. Yeah.
A Roman guy walks into a bar, holds up 2 fingers, and says, 5 beers, please.
I just recently got unstuck from that ceiling fan, so let's not make me think about that again.
Right. So, well, Sean, again, thank you very much for starting this adventure with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being a part of it. We're still going to hang out and be friends.
Absolutely. I'm going to harass you guys on the Facebook Live feed.
You totally should.
Yes, you should.
I would expect nothing less from you.
Right. So
I can't wait to meme you both.
Yes.
Yeah. You just want to slide into our DMs.
That's what we'll do. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll hire you to be our meme master.
Yes.
And,
I approve that message.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna take you off as from our page. Like you can still be on there, so you can.
Yes.
You need to keep that picture up too.
Yeah.
Make 2 pictures, you know.
Yeah.
One with the original.
Yeah.
Or honestly, what we should do is we should keep the picture we have now and just put Matt's face over yours.
Yeah, just a horrible Photoshop.
Yeah.
I thought Matt was taller in real life.
I'm making that picture tomorrow. I'm going to post it.
Yes. And it'll be simple, be easy. Just send it into KHTS. But here's our
He's
new
got
picture.
less hair on his head and more hair on his face.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, this is an odd situation.
Yeah, this is weird.
So to all our listeners, if you see Sean on the streets, say hi to him.
Hello.
Make the 49ers great again, which is even better because the 49ers became great as soon as they got rid of Kaepernick. I mean, that's
what's he got?
San Francisco. Yeah. So. Hey, just as long as he doesn't forget that the Pittsburgh Steelers actually have 6 rings, where San Francisco only has 5.
Here I am, the lone Giants fan in the room.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I know.
And Sean's like, is that?
What are you guys talking about?
Go
Kings,
right? He's like, oh, go Kings. There you go.
Rangers fan right here.
Yeah.
Dang it,
man! I might have to reconsider having you as my guest with all this
That's
New
it.
York
This is
love.
off.
Right? Yeah.
That's
Cody, you're my new co-host.
You're fired. Enjoy your 5 minutes of freedom.
Yes. So I think we're at the end of our time here. So Sean, for the second to last time.
Be sure to download the free KHTS app on your iPhones and Android devices. Now you can listen to KHTS wherever you are. You can also access KHTS news, social media, and more. The easiest way to get the app is by going to your Google Play or App Store and search KHTS.
Boom.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week. Or these two will see you next week, not me.